Note ఎందుకు నోడ్ ఎందుకు నోడ్ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసావా ఎందుకు కూర్చో yeah. See guys, yesterday class we done with packaging. This is the final project you can open. Open the Visual Studio Code, open the folder. The final project we need to open, my final project. Good. So my final project, you just select and what? Select the folder. Once if you select the folder, go for src app.jsx. App.jsx, we have some file. How to start the project, guys? Here, this is the white project. White project means what? npm run. Yeah, npm run dev, right? npm run and what? Dev. Good. So npm run dev, guys. I think we changed the port number. The port number is what? 88 and what? 88. Where we change, guys? Here, white config flag. I don't want this height rate something like that. Let me restart the file and we can go for npm run dev. I want run with the 5173 because default port number is how much? 5173. Okay, fine. 5173. That is the data. Get started by Ratan sir, right? Good. Yes, you do one thing. Open the app.jsx file. You remove entire code today. So yesterday class we done what modifications, right? Today modification. Remove entire code. Remove entire code. Not to remove just for the code. Remove the entire code and you write the component now. You create the component. You create what? Component. You create the component, guys. To create the component, to create what? Component. See, guys, one JavaScript function is called one component. One JavaScript function is called what? One component. See, guys, simply can go for what? Component creation. Component creation. See, component creation means like, one JavaScript, one JS function, one JS function equal to one component. One JS function is called what? One component. One JS function is called one component. That's it. One JS function you define. Define the function using like, function keyword. The function name is what? App. See guys, when you take the component name, make sure that the component name and file name must be same. You maintain the standard like that. Even you can take this is like app.jsx here greeting also, but don't do like that. So make sure that one JavaScript function is called one component here. Here what? Component name. Tell me component name and a function name. Component name, function name. Function name. Take as what? Same names, right? Exactly. That's what, guys. My file is what file here? App.jsx. What file am I? App.jsx. Function name is what? App. See, guys, declare the function like this. One function is called one component. Declare the function like this. Good. See, guys, after declaring the function, inside the function, you won't write any logic, sir. We can have the logics here. You write some logic like, use state group, some logics. You write some logic for that. See, write the logic inside the function directly. See, I done some logic assume. After that, I need to send the message. Message to whom? Browser, right? To send the message, guys. See, guys, the component contains what? UI plus the logic contains stay together, right? Stay what? Together. See, guys, inside the component, you write the logic. But today class, there is no logic, only SOP statement, right? Hello world program. That's what, guys. You want to display any data in the browser. To display what? Any data in the browser. To display any data in what? Browser. Browser lo em display cheyalanna. Whatever the data you want display in what? Browser. You write inside the return statement. You write inside what? Return statement, right? See guys, inside the to display any data in the browser. To display what? Any data in what do you guys say here? Browser. Write the code inside what statement, Amam? Write the code inside the what statement here? Return statement. See guys, that is called return statement is very important. To display the any data in the browser, you write that code inside what statement? Return statement. Return statement don't write the logic. Logic write outside. Logic write outside like just let me have the result equal what? 10 plus 20. Some logic you written above. And you print the data inside what statement? Return statement. So whatever the code you written inside the data statement, that is displayed in what browser. Right? That is displayed in what browser, right? Exactly. You can try it. Let me write the H1 tag. That's all. H1 tag opening and what? H1 tag closing. Tell me, guys. This is called what? Welcome to. Tell me. Welcome to React classes. Something like message you return. Welcome to what? React classes. If you write the welcome to React classes message, that's it, guys. Welcome to React classes message. Hey, that's it. Just you can go and check your file, then you'll get the message like message what? Yeah, data is coming or not coming on? Not coming. Why the data is not coming? See, when the data is not coming, no worries. No, something like goes wrong actually. Something is goes wrong, guys. You right click on what? Inspect. You click on the inspect. Inspect and what? Go to the console. You refresh, you see the error message. Read the error message, guys, here. Yeah, read the error message here. Uncatch syntax error. Uncatch what? Syntax error. The requested module. Nothing but one JS file, JSX file. ఒక file ని ఒక module అంటారు. One JSX file you can call it as a one module. The requested module, like what for module here? App.jsx, which is there in what folder here? SRC folder. See guys, who has the patience to read the more errors, he become a developer, good developer. Who has the patience to read the errors and rectify the errors, he is the next level pro developers. Who is not reading the errors, he never eligible for the software development. So errors చదవడం తెలియకపోతే మీకు సాఫ్ట్వేర్ డెవలపర్స్ గా పనికిరారు. Because developers, what is common? Errors are common. Errors are common means what? When I see that error, we will rectify that error. The requested module is what file here? App.jsx, and does not provide what statement here? Export. Export statement is not there. I will tell you what is export statement, but just let me write the export statement. Export default. What we are exporting as here? App. Is asking that export is not there. That's all. Then I done the export option. So why this export? Today what I will tell you what is export and import. But as of now I written what? Export column. Export line. That's it. Now you can come to the file and you click on what? Refresh. Then we got the message. That's it. Welcome to React classes. Come to what? React classes. That's it. Wait, that's it. Take the one component. How to create the component? One function is called one component. One function means what function? One JavaScript function, one component. So today you want to display the hello world message. Where we should write the message? Return shared. Return you can put the brackets like this. Parentheses. Here you can write the H1 tag. H1 tag tells you guys welcome to welcome to what? Returns classes. Go for what? Close the H1. That's all. Just you can see the file. What is coming and not coming? Not coming. Why? We need to export this module. I will tell you why this export here. Export default. What we have to export? App. Now you see the output guys here. We got the output is what? Welcome to Ratansar classes. Wait, that is called the component you created. First day we seeing only output. First day, first application. Second day, we are updating the app.js export. Some extra information you added, you are checking the data. Today is third day, no? Third day, we are writing your own form, your own style. So you got it up? That's it. See guys, next one is like, you see that one, next one is like, welcome to React classes. Then let me write the message like H2 message. In H2, let me add the data like, tell me. Welcome to what? React returns are classes. All students are what? All students are what? Nice. All students are nice. I want to write a message like that. But see guys, when I write the message, all students are nice like this, I got error. Why we got error means go to the browser here. Go to what? Browser. So H1 is opening and closing properly, and H2 is also opening and what? Closing proper. Yeah. Hey, that is called H1 and what? H2 is open what? Proper. And the problem here is. Oh, sorry. Hey, this is a H1. This is export default. Export. Yeah, the errors you can run first. He will tell you the error, right? I want to show that error first. Okay, you right click and let me go for what? Inspect. Error confusable. No, I think all error. That's also. Okay, fine. Yes. Here we are writing one is comma or bracket to be found, identifier, fifth line. Yeah. So it's called fifth line. H1, H2 is there. Fine, good. Hey, that's it, guys. Hey, the problem is here is like, we are writing how many lines of code here? Two lines of code. We written the two lines of code. Once if we written the two lines of code here, inside the return statement, what the code you are writing, the code which is displayed in what amount? To display the any data in the browser, write the code inside the. We write the code inside what? Inside the return statement, you write the code. Inside what statement, Amma? Return statement. See guys, in the return statement, we written how many lines of code? Two lines. Previously, how many lines? One line. The return can return only single value. The return can return how many values? Single value. The return statement, the return statement can return what? Only what? Single value. Single element should be returned. Single value, or we can say single what? Element. The return statement can return the single element. Previously, we are writing how many elements? One element. Any problem is there? No problem. Then we are getting the output is properly, like, welcome to Professor classes like that. Now we are writing one statement, multiple statements. But return can return how many values? One value. Okay, return can return how many values? Return can return only one value. But you return one value, multiple values. Then we need to combine all the multiple values, make it a single value. Combine what? Multiple values. The return statement can return only single value, single element. If you want return the, tell me, if you want to return the, if you want what? If you want to return the multiple elements, if you want to return what? Multiple elements, wrap that all elements into one parent div. The parent, one parent what? Element. Hey, you want written one element, directly can return one element, it's not a problem. But you want written one element, multiple elements are. Multiple elements means what? We need to wrap the all elements into one parent element. Then return a parent element. We return what? Parent element, right? Exactly. See guys, to wrap these all the elements into one single element, guys, you need to make it as what? Div tag. Then tell me guys, now I am returning what? Multiple elements of only one div. I return multiple elements of one div. One div. One div, right? That's not a problem. Just you can come to the application, you can see the output guys here. Click on what? Refresh. All students are what? Nice. Okay, this is called H1 tag. This is called what? H2 tag. All students are what? Nice. That's it. Okay, that is called, this is called div tag. The return can return how many values? Return can return the one value. No, sir, I want return the H1, H2, paragraph, 3 tag, list 2, tables, multiple elements are there. We need to do what? We need to wrap that multiple elements into what? Single element. Wrap the multiple elements into what? Single element. We need to wrap the multiple elements into one parent element. So that we can return what? So that what? We can return the single what? Single parent element. Single what, buddy? Parent element, right? So parent element return this. So that's what you take in what tag? Div tag. What tag? Div tag. That is the code for that. So we got it on. Single element means any problem is there? No problem. Multiple elements means what? No problem. What the problem? Return the only single element. Return the only what? Single element. Only single element means div tag is required, not required, not required. This is not required, this is not required. That is for the returning only how many elements? Single element. Second one is what? Return the multiple elements. Return the no, you cannot say return the multiple elements because return can return how many elements? One color. Next one is what? Wrapping the multiple elements into single, then return the single element. Return that what? Single parent. That's all. We return that what? Single parent, right? Exactly. Hey Naresh, control, standard. What is DOM? What is DOM? DOM అంటే ఏంటి? I did not DOM, right? Document Object Model. Full form, okay. What is a DOM? తెలియాలి కదా మరి. గుడ్. పెద్ద మనిషి నువ్వు చెప్పమా. వాట్ ఈస్ DOM? బట్టి నువ్వే బట్టి DOM తెలుసా? చెప్పేంటి వాట్ ఇస్ DOM? డాక్యుమెంట్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ మోడల్ అది కాదు. వాట్ ఇస్ DOM? నెక్స్ట్ DOM తెలుసా? What tree? Mango tree. The season, mango season, right? Mango tree, banana tree. What tree then? Grapes tree. Grapes tree, tree on the funda. Grapes tree, tree ka funda. What tree, buddy? Next, what is DOM? Terido. Next, terido. Next, terido. Next. Sit down. Hey, DOM, guys. DOM is like, document object model. Your HTML elements will be converted into the tree of objects. Every HTML element will be converted into what? Tree of object. Every HTML elements. HTML elements. HTML one element. Paragraph one element. Div is one element. Every HTML elements. Elements what? Yeah. Every HTML element is converted into what? Tree of. So every HTML elements. Convert into what? Convert into tree of objects. The tree of objects you are calling it as a DOM. The tree we can call it as what? DOM tree. Every HTML element, HTML document elements are converted into tree of objects. The tree of objects you are calling it as what? DOM. So in the tree of object you are calling it as what? DOM. Here we are grouping the data using what tag here? Div tag. When we group the data using div tag, div is also one tag. Div is also one tag. One tag means one object is created. H1 is one tag, one object is created. H2 one tag, one object is created. Total how many tree structure contains how many objects as of now? 3 objects. One is H1 object. H1 element is converted to the object format. H2 object, div object. See, when you group the multiple elements using like div tag, when we group what? Multiple elements. Tell me guys, when we group the multiple elements, multiple what? Elements using. But is you tell you don't think like statue bomb like speak out. What we are doing when we group the elements, when what? Group the multiple elements using what tag? Div tag. Then what happened here? Extra node added to DOM. Extra node is added to what? DOM, right? Exactly. Extra node added. Because they are grouping them, you want return the 5 values, 5 elements. Then how many objects? 5 objects. But you are grouping these 5 objects into one sim div. Then extra is added to what? DOM. Extra div is added, right? Yes or no? Extra div is added. That's what, guys, they given the concept like React fragments. React what? Fragment. They given the React like React fragmentation concept is React fragment. You come to the file here, then you can group the multiple elements. Group what? Group the one element of multiple elements are multiple elements using what? Group the multiple elements using the React fragment. Sir, what is the advantage? What is the React fragment, sir? Here you can write the React dot. You can write what? Fragment. React dot what is fragment. Cool. అందుకని వెనక కూర్చోవాలి. వెనక కూర్చుంటే పడుకోవడానికి కుదిరిద్ది. ఇప్పుడేం అడు పడితేనే వాడు చదువుతుండే, ఇటు పడితేనే వీడు చదువుతుండు. చూడట్లేదు కదా. అదే సరి చేసుకుంటున్నావు కదా సెటప్ కి. ఆ సెటప్ సరి చేసుకుంటే అయిపోయింది క్లాస్ 2 minutes అయిపోతుంది. ఒక్కటి చెప్తే క్లోజ్ చేసేస్తారు. React at what? Fragment. See, when you group the multiple elements, React at fragment, like see guys, we got the same output, no problem. If you want, you can copy paste this code multiple times. Then we got the output is like 1 time or 2 times here, 2 times. See guys, we got the output is what? Right click and go for what? Inspect. inspect, go to our console. React is not defined because control space React, control space what? React. Actually, the React should be imported. React should be what? Imported. Go for the React should be imported because there is a predefined one, right? Good. Yeah, you come to the file and you click on what? Refresh once. Now you see the output, guys, because the output how many times? Yeah, 2 times. And this is called what? React fragmentation. See here, this is React fragment. What is the advantage, sir? A React fragment also purpose is what? To group the data. Previously, you group the data using what? Div tag. When you group the data div tag, then what happened? One extra node is added to the DOM. When you group the data using React fragment, extra node is not added. Extra node is not added and not added. Added. Exactly. A group the elements using what? React fragment. Here, you tell me, guys. Here what? Here. Extra node is not added to DOM. If you speak, I will speak. I will write the more points. If you not speak, I am also not interested. Just what? React is what? Completed. That's it. Hey, that is the React fragment. Hey, you can wrap them. Return can return how many values? Return can return the one value. Return can return. If multiple values are there, what we should do? We need to wrap. We need to wrap into one div. You can wrap into div, but what is the problem? One extra node is added to the DOM. If you go for what? The React fragment. React fragment means what? Extra node is added, not added. Not added, right? Okay, that is a data. See, guys, the later version they are saying that instead of writing the React fragment, guys, you don't need to write the React.fragment also. The shorter syntax is there, short syntax, guys. You remove that lines, no problem. You can remove this import statement. Just you can write the opening and the closing. This is called React fragment. That is what? React fragment. You can write the React.fragment starting versions, but later they decided you don't write the React.fragment. You just opening and what? Closing. What this will do, guys? This is called what the syntax here? React fragment. Why the React fragment? To wrap the what is the purpose of React fragment? What is the purpose of what? React fragment. Tell me, guys, what the purpose of React fragment? Use it to wrap the multiple elements into single. Into what? Not single. So first one is what? Wrap using what? Div. Wrap using here div. But here, what happened here? One extra node added to DOM. Second one is what? Wrap using React what? Fragment. FRAG fragment. Then extra node is added or not added? Extra node is what? Added, right? Extra node is not added. So here the syntax is what? You can write the syntax is what? React dot what? Fragment. You can write like this. Or you can write the starter syntax is what? Opening and closing. So that's it. That is called React fragmentations. Wait, got it? How to create the component? One component is equal to one JavaScript function. Here the component name and file name must component name and function name must be same. So here the component name starts with you write the convention starts with uppercase. Starts with what? Uppercase. And the inner word also starts with uppercase. Inner word what? Starts with uppercase. That is called component case. See, for example, app component means a captain. For example, employee details means what? Employee app dot what file? JSX. Employee details dot what? JSX. That will be the standards follow one. You follow the standards. Follow what? Standards. Very important. One JavaScript function is called one component. And file name and component name must be same. The component name must be same, right? Yeah, the component name and the function name must be component file name and the function name must be same. To display the data in the browser, where we should write the code? To display the data in browser, write the code inside what statement? But return statement can return only single element. Single element. So return statement can return the single element. But if you want return the multiple elements, what we should do? Return statement can return the single element. Yeah, I written only single element for that. But if you want return the multiple elements, wrap that elements into the one parent element. So that we can return the single parent element. Wrapping the multiple elements into single, then they can what? Wrap the multiple element into what? Single using what tag? Using what? Div. Div tag to wrap. But the problem is what? Huh? What is DOM? What is the DOM? Document object. That is like data we have like this. And we group the multiple elements using div. Then what the problem is here? One extra node is added to the DOM. Then group the multiple elements using what concept is to overcome above problem. To overcome what? Above problem. Use the concept is what? What the concept of React what? Fragment. What the React fragment will do? Group the multiple elements using React fragment. Here extra node is added, not added. And this is the overall syntax. And here we can go for the shorter syntax. What is a short syntax term? The short syntax is like React fragment shorter syntax. React this import statement is not required. And here also you can go with what? And React fragment you can remove. And here also what? React fragment you can remove. That's it. Got it? That's all. You want some more clarity? I will tell you one more thing. Sir, you please create one new component. I am going to up to now we are using app.jsx. App.jsx is your component, a predefined they gave now. They gave it. You please create your own component. To create your own component, please go for the src folder. Right click on src folder, click on what? New file. Click on the new file. Here you can go for the file is what? Greeting.jsx. The file in here greeting.jsx, right? There is a greeting.jsx. Now tell me how to write the file here. Function. How to create the component? Function. What the function name you have? So greeting, right? Function greeting is there. Observe carefully. Function is what? Greeting. Function greeting is there. We can go for what statement here? Return statement. Return statement what? Parenthesis like that. We need to go for React what? Fragment. A fragment you start directly. Even if you're writing single element, definitely you'll write what? One element or multiple elements are. We need to wrap that multiple elements into what? One parent tag using what? React fragment. Go with React what? The combine JSON. Right? You can write that. A function greeting return statement to open and close. This is called React fragment. Here you can write the h1 tag. H1 tag is what? Welcome to. Tell me guys. Welcome to Hyderabad. Welcome to what? Hyderabad. Welcome to Hyderabad. Just you can close h1 tag and give the message like today class is what? Completed. Come tomorrow. Come tomorrow. Something like that, right? And that is called greeting component. See guys, this is my greeting component. What I will do? This is greeting component. What component? Greeting component. Application point of view, what happened, you create your own components. Greeting.jsx, employee.jsx, and greeting.jsx, employee.jsx, card.jsx, asitem.jsx, order.jsx, about.jsx. You create the separate components. You create share. Today, what component you created? Greeting.jsx file you created. Component you created. We need to control all the components. See, base items component, non-base items component, order component, greeting component, about us component. So, total how many components we have? 5. We need to control these all the 5 components. To control all the 5 components, go for the app.jsx. Here I want to include a component. So here I want to include what? Greeting.jsx. Tomorrow I will write the about us.jsx. Again I will include. Again I will what? Include. Then tell me here what I want to include. Greeting.jsx. What I want to include wrong. Greeting.jsx. So how many components you have? Two. How many components now? Two. One is the app.jsx, one is the greeting.jsx. Who is going to use which component? App is going to use the greeting.jsx component. App is going to use what? Greeting. The app is going to use the greeting.jsx component means greeting dot what? JSX component. Here I want to use. Right, in the core Java or something, Python, we are going for some predefined classes means we should import, right? We should what? Import. Scanner class, we are doing import statements, right? Like that, we should import means. Here I am the app.jsx, you are the greeting.jsx. You are what file? Greeting.jsx. Because I have the multiple JSX files. I need to include that JSX files. What I should do? I need to import that file. I need to import. ఇప్పుడు నేను ఇంపోర్ట్ చేసుకోవాలన్నమాట what file I need to import greeting.jsx first let me import then I can use the component let me import let me import then use the component then what the question is here I need to import your component right I need to import your component మీ component import చేయాలి hey, do you know right in Vizag port is there they are importing the goods or exporting the goods. Both okay. In Bangladesh, Vamsi is sending some items to the Bangladesh. In Vizag, Vamsi, what he has to do? He has to once he has to export, then that guy Bangladesh his friend what he will do import, right? It means what first Vamsi has to be export, then only Bangladesh can be import, right? Then only Bangladesh can be what? Import. Now you tell me, I want to import your component. Then you should what? Exactly. Then you should export the component. That's what this export component is there. Why we should export it means what? When you export, someone can import. So when you want export, someone can import. That is called export and import the modules in JavaScript. Import and what? Export the modules in JavaScript. See guys, import versus export. Import and నాకు శాంతించు ఎందుకు ఓకేనా శాంతి Import and import and export, guys. So what is the purpose of import and exports? What is import and what? What import and what? Export. See guys, in JavaScript every module in JS, in what? In JS, in what? JavaScript, in JavaScript, we need to export the file. We need to export the module. We need to what? Export the module using export keyword. Using what? Export keyword. In JavaScript, we need to export the module. We need to export your module. We need to what? Export your module using what keyword? Export. Yeah. And we can import the module. We can import the module using what keyword? Import. Using import statement. Using import statement, something like that. See guys, some model if you want to use this, first you should what? First you should import it, that guy should export it. That guy should what? Export. Then only we can import. Okay, that's what you're writing the export option. Then you can go for what? Export default. What model exporting here? Greeting. Once if you export, then you can go for the greeting, guys. Hey, see guys, real time you don't write the import statements like this. Most of the Samirpet faculties they'll write the import statements and import statements. Import statement should come automatically. If you start writing import statement, 10 imports means what? You will not write the one by line by line. That is very dangerous, guys. It's a time waste process. So without writing import, how we should get the import? Here, just what model you want, what component you want. After JSX, write a greeting component. Simply can write what? Greeting. Write the 2-3 characters. Oh, you write 1, 2, 3 characters. You select the component. When you select the component, import statement Yes, Shiva. ఏంది కళ్ళలో పడుతుందా ఎవరు Hey, that is called import statement. Import greeting. Remove. Import is very important, guys. You don't write import statement. You write what? You want what component? The greeting component. Then you can go for what? This is like greeting. Write the 2-3 characters. What the component you want? You should get this what? Greeting automatically. Sir, in my system, I'm not getting this greeting like this. See, you are not getting this greeting like this because you didn't export the component. If you didn't export the component, you come here, control space, the greeting you cannot show. Can you see the greeting? You cannot see the greeting. Why? That guy is not exported. That's what you can come here. First what we should do here. Export. After export, you come here. Then what we should do here? Greeting. That's all, guys. Import statement I'm writing automatically coming out. Automatically coming. This is import statement. If you want, you can remove it and you can write a 2-3 characters, control space, and select the greeting, you can enter. Import statement will come automatically. So you got it done? That's it, guys. Now I am going for the greeting like this. Just you can open the file and you can check the output and click on the refresh. You see, guys, welcome to what? Hyderabad. Today class is what? Completed. Come tomorrow. That is called using the components. In the component, I can use multiple times. See, the one time, 2 times, 3 times, like that. Simply I can get this the code. Then you will get what? The same code is like multiple times. Welcome to Hyderabad. Welcome to. That's what. Like button. Write the logic once. How many movies are there? Every movie and a component. Rating button. Write the logic once. That logic can be used by one movie. All movies are. Every movie card is showing the like button, rating button, right? They didn't write the logic like 100 movies means 100 times. So one time they will write the logic like that. They'll include that component. They can include what component, right? Exactly. Guys, that's it. Got it done? Good. Hey, this is the comment syntax in the React. Control slash okay fine. This is called greeting this. Now you can see the output here. You got the output is what? Welcome to Hyderabad. One time you got the output, right? Hey, you can import the code like this, guys. You can include the component like this, or we can write the self-closing also. You can remove this one, here put the slash. put what slash. Either opening and closing you can take. Sir, there is no data for this empty is there, right? That's what I can go for what? Self-closing. Closing, but self-closing. And how many times you'll get the output here? 2 times. One is for the welcome to Hyderabad, second one is what? Welcome to Hyderabad. Got it done? Okay, that is the import and export. Now, what is the export means what? In JavaScript, we need to export your module using what? Export keyword. Then other modules can. We need to export your module using what keyword? Export keyword. Then other modules can import. Other modules can import. Using what keyword? Import. Keyword import. That's it. Hey, you want like button here. Hey, you do one thing guys. Like button component you can create once. How to create a component? Create a component what? SRC. SRC and what? SRC new. And 1 second. This is a React fragment is over. After React fragment import and export switch checked. And here you need to go for the component creation. What creation but is component creation. How to create a component? Tell me now. To create a component creation. Right click on what? SRC. Right click on what? SRC. New file. And save the take the file name is what? Take the file name is something like greeting dot new file. Greeting dot what file? JSX. Then JSX file will come. Then you can go with the data. Then greeting.jsx code will come. Just let me have the act like this. Then you can go for the file here. SRC greeting.jsx. This is my greeting.jsx. Then we should go for what? Second file is what app.jsx. In app.jsx, what we should do? We should write the import statement. The import should come automatically. Import should come automatically. Right? Yeah. Then that component inclusion 2 ways we can. Either opening and closing you can write, otherwise you can write what? Self-closing. Here you can take what you can say here, opening and closing. And here we are doing what now? Here self-closing, right? Self-closing, right? And that's it. Got it done? Good. If you want to let me do one more button, you can. Like button said like component. New file. The component name is what now? Like button. Like what you can say? Like a comp dot what? JSX. Then tell me here, he can go for the data here. Then write the tell me what the function here. Write the function. Write what function. Write the function like write the function like that. See guys, what the function name here? Function like component return statement. If is good, React fragment is good. React fragment is good. Why? Because that is like this is like we can write the h1 tag. H1 tag. Yeah, h1 tag. Just we can systems. And this is called what? Like logs. What logic better is like logs. That's it. Export is there. Export default what component here? Like component all are ready. Then greeting file is there and like component. Then where we should include is all the components in app.jsx. Go for app.jsx here. Yeah, app.jsx we can open. In app.jsx already greeting is included 2 times, right? Let me go for the email system. Yeah, I think here we need to go for what? Like what component like you write the 2-3 characters, automatically component suggestion will come. Go for the like component. Can you see the second line of import statement? This import statement we are writing automatically coming up. Guys, let me go for the self-closing option like this. That's it, guys. You come to the file. I click on the refresh. Now you see the file, guys. This is what? Welcome to Hyderabad. This is like 2 times greeting. 1 time is what? Like class. That's it. Atla component create the components and you can include the components wherever you want. wherever you want. How many times the like components are written here? 4 times. And you can check the file is like logic, and what? Like logic, right? Logic ma, like logic. So we clear on how to include the components? That's it for this. That is the code. Now you take these all the points. After taking these all the points, and you write the components like header.jsx. Header.jsx, you write some message that is like welcome to Satyatech or such company name. Header.jsx. Photo.jsx, you can give some 2-3 lines of message. Hey, don't write one line of message. So you write a 2-3 lines of message. Header contains 2-3 lines of message. Next one is what? Photo.jsx. Photo.jsx also contains the 2-3 lines of message only. Last one is what? Body.jsx. Body.jsx also contains like 2-3 lines of message. How many components you created total here? 3 components. These 3 components what you created, open what file here? App.jsx, include the, tell me guys, include the components. Include what? Include the component. So the first component header. After header, hey, first one is what? Header. First one is the header, second one is what? Body, third one is what? Footer. Like that, we need to write the footer. Other example, you write this example and show me that example. That is your task now. So got it up. This is called component integration. In today's class, we discussed about what is a component integration, return statements, React fragmentations, import and exports, and we can use the component. Greeting component you can write separate, and we can import that component to the file. That we don't write the import statements. Import statement should come automatically. Or we will get automatically means control space. Control space, and you can write the select the data and what? Import the data. We select the data and what? Import the data. A React is front end or back end? React. Front end or back end? Huh? React is with the front end user interface. Back end logics are done by. See, as real time we should know only 2 things. Only things, 2 things. MVC is outdated, guys. MVC is outdated. So one project should not contain the logics and views. That sir, I created one project. My project contains the HTML files, logic, all are there in one project. That is a useless project for the real time. That is what project? Useless. What project is useless? The project should contain one all UI akkade untundi, logic. That is called MVC projects. The project should have the we got it. HTML కూడా అక్కడే ఉంటది మీ లాజిక్ కూడా అక్కడే ఉంటాయి that is called failure project that is not at all used in the real time completely outdated project completely out of control real time require only 2 things guys front end React you should know back end we should know the REST APIs back end we should know what REST APIs front end should be in the one server back end should be in another server the front end should call this back end API calls backend what? API calls. Hey, no sir, my project registration form is there, login form is there. I am reading the username password. Username equal to Satya, password Satya. I don't know. This is my project means cut off. Useless. Why? The project itself should be having the views. The project itself is having the classes. That is what project? MVC project. That we are not using in what? Real time. What the real time is required? Front end is React. React separate server code. Back end is what? REST APIs. REST API should be in the separate server. Front end React connect with what? Back end REST APIs, all the URLs. All what? URLs. The front end React should call the back end REST APIs URLs, right? Further communication, we are using one module like Axios concept in the Axios concept in the React. The concept name here, Axios. For the purpose of Axios, front end is what? Front end is what? Front end is the React. Back end is the yes. A resume don't place the one project. We should have the registration.html, login.html, like that. That is the MVC project. We are not considering it all. Because front end should be React, back end should be REST APIs, front end should call the back end REST APIs. Java people, front end is React. Java people, back end I will make the microservices. This front end application should connect with what back end microservices to get the data. That communication will be. And I will apply the project into AWS servers for the Java people. Important. What it are? Front end is what? React. Back end is REST APIs. Front separate కొట్టాలి. ఏ నో సార్ మాకు పెద్ద ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఒకే దాంట్లో ఉంటే పెట్టుకోండి మీ దగ్గర. But we don't want front end is React, back end is REST. The front end should interact with what? Back end. The front end is interact with the back end using what module? Axios. Module but Axios. Axios used to Axios. Backend REST APIs is Axios. Axios what? The front end React communicate with what? Backend. Backend is what? REST APIs. The Axios, the front end React, the front end React connects with what? Connects with what? The front end React connects with what? Backend REST using what a module guys here. Axios to connect out. Number one. So what is Axios? Someone is asking what is Axios means. Don't say I don't know. The front end React is very important model. The front end React connected to what? Backend REST APIs using. The front end React is connected to the backend REST API using what? Axios. Very important. Got it up? Good. Hey, one component I have one. Observe carefully. One component, I have some value. First component one is there. And the component one is there. And you can write the component two is there, some value required. And here you can write the component three. Component three is also some value required. Observe carefully. Generally, assume that one classroom is one component. Assume that we have 10 classrooms. 10 classrooms means what? 10 components are there. 10 classrooms means how many components? 10 components. 10 classrooms means 10 components are there. How many classrooms are? 10. How many components are there? 10 components. But how many offices they are maintained here? One office. One office or 10 offices are? That one office is used by? One office is used by what? That one office is used by one component, all components are. It means what? All components commonly use one common data, right? All components can use what? Common data. Yes, option 1. Every classroom contains office. Option 2. 10 classroom contains how many offices? One office. 10 classrooms are using how many offices? One office, right? It means 10 components should get the data from one office. That is called centralized place. Centralized place. To maintain the global state, guys, state means value, global state. To maintain what? Global state. To maintain global state means what? This is a specific component, a common for all components are. Common to all components. Common to what? All components. To maintain the global state to one components, all components are to all components, then use the concept like Redux. What a concept name? Redux. I will talk about Redux. Very important because base items add to cart button is there. Base items cart button is there. Non-base items also add to cart button is there. Milk items also add to cart button is there. It doesn't mean like 3 times you write the logic, right? Basic base focus on logic, non-base base one time logic, milk items one time logic. We should not like that. You write the logic in one common place. That logic is used by all the components. That is called global state management. What state budget is? Global state management. A Redux is used for? Redux is used for what? Global state management. Global state management. A Redux is used for the global state, centralized global state management is. So we can write what? Centralized global, centralized or what? Global state management. So that all components can access the data from what? All components can access the data from Redux. All the components get the data from what? Redux. That is called your Redux concept. Someone is asking what is Redux means, that's it. So practically I write the points, but theoretical is the point. What is the purpose of Axios? Front end is React. Front end is React. Back end is what the project figures. In interpanel, what the project you done means they're expecting the answers like that. Sir, I done my front end of using the React, I done my back end of using REST API, sir. The front end back end connection I used Axios, sir. And for this all the components, common data I need to maintain the Redux, sir. So that you can understand that you are good at subject. No, sir, my project is there, sir. That entire like which is e-commerce system, which is a front end using the React, sir, back end using the microservices. The communication I'm using like Access module, and the global state management I use Redux, and the components we prepare. That is the Redux purpose is what? Redux is simply all the components use the common data. The common data present in Redux. 10 components having the 10 offices or one officer. That office is used by all components. We 10 classrooms. 10 classrooms having one office. One office is called what? Redux. All classroom students, all 10 classrooms students use the single office. That is Redux. Got it? But the Axios is clear. Axios and what? Redux. Okay, that's what it is. Previously, you're writing the discount logics. You're writing tax calculations. These all. Previously, these all the before React. Before React, these all the logics are done at server side. Before the React, these all the logics are done at what side? Huh? These all the logics are done at server side. If you are writing this kind of logics at backend Java, .NET or Python means again useless. Because these all the logics are done by React, front-end calculations. All the calculations done at what front-end using React to reduce the server burden. To reduce what? Server burden. React perform the calculations and what? Perform the calculations. Calculations at what side? Client side to reduce the to reduce what? To reduce the server burden. Okay, to reduce the server burden, guys, you write the logic side client side one. మొత్తం లాజిక్స్ అన్ని క్లయింట్ సైడ్ లో ఉంటాయి, రియాక్ట్ లోనే ఉంటాయి మొత్తం. డిస్కౌంట్ క్యాలిక్యులేషన్, కూపన్ క్యాలిక్యులేషన్స్, ట్యాక్స్ క్యాలిక్యులేషన్స్, ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఈస్ డన్ ఇన్ ఫ్రంట్ ఎండ్. Front end means what? Your browser is doing your calculations. You don't write the logic at server side. Read the first number, read the second number, addition of 2 numbers, quantity of 2 numbers. I got the project. Those all the logics are done by what? Client side, server side, client side. If server side means what happened? You write the logic at server side. 1 billion requests are hitting server. Then 1 billion calculation has to done server side. Server will crash. Server will what? Crash. That's it, yes. I'll tell you one more small point here. We have the React one important concept like props. Sir, what is a prop, sir? Props is nothing else. We have one component, multiple components we have. Multiple components. One component has to send the data to another component, right? Assume that I want to send the data from one component to another component. The process of sending the data from one component to another component, passing the data from Tell me guys, passing the data from one component to another. One component to another, that is called what? Props. Hey, these are all practical. I will write Axios or Redux and client side calculations and props. These all I will write practically. Just I am saying theoretical knowledge. Someone is asking what are the key features of React. Then you should tell the Axios, Redux, and what props. But the props guys here, passing the passing what? Passing the data from one component to one component, another component. That is concept of what props. That's it. What about the Redux? Huh? What comes the Redux to maintain the global state? To maintain what? Like centralized place. So that the data can be used by all components. Centralized global state management. To maintain the global state to all the components. All components can access the data from what? Redux. Right? That's it. How to create a component? You create the component. Yeah, we'll take that example. Write all the points and take the pics. Pics this one. Last goal. Today we done a lot of points. A function can return how many values? One value. One element should be returned. How many elements are returned? One. If you want to return the multiple elements, no, we need to wrap that multiple elements into the single using what? React fragment. We'll take this then one. We can wrap the data using div also, but div is good or not good? Why div is not good? Extra node is extra node is added to the top. That's why you're going for React fragment. Instead of React fragment, you can write the short form, right? What the short form? Yeah. We go to import and export. You write the task. Hey, task write the task and show me now. Adi task. The last one.